got Matt Elliott, the former Panthers and Raiders and Warriors coach.
The Warriors of 2023 are a different beast.
Well, how are they going to go then in 2024? Look, it all kicked off on the weekend. Couple of games. We've got the Knights versus the Raiders tonight, and then of course the Warriors tomorrow night. Rugby league is back, mate.
Yeah, how exciting, and what an amazing year we've got in front of us. I was doing some mental prep before you called, and I think we're going to be a year stacked full of surprises this year.
Well, explain a couple of those then. Are you talking about teams? Are you talking about who makes the 8? Are you talking about who makes the 4 even?
Well, we saw a little bit of an insight into it in Vegas. I guess the two favourite teams didn't win that game. I just feel like that, it's our second year of having a new team in the competition. Things are stabilised. I just think we're going to see some individuals really grow in the NRL, but I also feel like there's going to be a few teams, a little bit like the Warriors did last year, that are going to prove to some people they're a whole lot better than they initially thought.
Matt, every year a couple of teams, I think the statistic is something like 2.8 teams drop out of the 8 and they're replaced. So it's between 2 or 3 teams every year that did have a great year last year and then are left licking their wounds. Who do you think, looking at where the season is at now, could be sliding out of that final series that they made last year?
Well, let's just make a declaration before we go into any of that. This is a guess. That sort of stuff's a guessing game. But I'd probably have to say that the Rabbitohs, have some vulnerability, but Jack Whiten back in their team might make a huge difference. But that'd be one. And I guess the other one, which is a bit of an easy one, is the Knights. I'm not sold on their halves combination, albeit if they can keep everyone fit. They've got with Callum Ponga at the back, they've got some real potency there. But I think they're probably the teams at the biggest risk for sure.
What about coming up the other end, those that missed out last year?
Oh, goodness. Can you ask me some easy questions, mate? I definitely feel like the Sea Eagles showed us something like, I'm going to sound like press rewind, hit play. The health of Tom Trbojevic has a massive impact on them. Now, I thought he made a huge difference to him the other night, and he's still not at his best. He obviously needs to get back into the swing of things. So, but you can just see with Brooks in their team, you can just see how dangerous they can be with their forward pack. It's just, they're monsters. So they're definitely one team I think is worthwhile keeping an eye on. I probably could have mentioned I'm not sure about the Eels, but I've got to say the Dragons, the other one, not because I'm obviously attached to them a little bit, and I think they're going to surprise some teams.
Well, there would be a surprise because a lot of people are also picking them for the wooden spoon. But again, as you say, this is a guessing game right now, and this is the fun bit of it because at the beginning of the season right now, everyone's won it and just about everyone could lose it.
Yeah, that's right, mate. That's right. And I guess the exciting thing of talking to you is the real potential of the Warriors. And I know that the Warriors doing well is really good for footy in New Zealand, but I think it's good for rugby league everywhere. The Warriors doing well in the NRL, and I'm really excited about their team, and I've got a massive challenge this weekend because the team they're playing against, I think, is another team that are growing. They've got a lot of young forwards, so that's going to be one hell of a game.
Just let's look at the Warriors, who last year, surprised everybody. They won 16 games. They'd only won 6 the previous season. If you go through that draw, though, Matt, look, we only played the Panthers, the Storm, and the Broncos one time each until the finals, lost a couple to the Roosters. And if you pick holes through it, you could say, okay, well, this, and that. But the Warriors were a great side last year. How do they improve upon that this year? And what's the bottom line for them? 2 parts to the question.
Yeah, I don't think they will won any games by accident. I think the poise, what Andrew Webster brought to them as far as mentality, along with the structures that he improved out, was amazing. And I could also see the relationships amongst the players really develop. Look, I think there's some really easy answers to what you said. I mean, I'm a massive Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. I met him in 2012 when I was working at the Roosters, and I immediately knew that he was going to be a superstar. And I think that's not just what he brings to the team as a centre. I think it's really wise keeping him in the centres, with Shah's out. But it'll be the impact he has on the other players as well. So I think that they're all going to grow in confidence. I think the other real key player, no one really talks about him too much, is Metcalf. I feel like he was a major contributor to Sean playing the type of footy that he was able to play because of the threat that he brings. You couldn't put your whole attention. Sean's been in teams over recent years where you just got to stop Sean and you've got to close down the play around him and you've got it covered. And Metcalf brings another dimension to the team. So having him back and fit, hopefully he's full of beans, it brings another dimension to the Warriors for sure.
Matt Elliott is with us. He's coached the Bradford Bulls. He's coached the Raiders, the Panthers, the Warriors and the NRL, a man with hundreds of games experience. When you look at coaching these days and your experience right now with what you're doing as well, how dramatically has it changed, even from the time a decade ago when you were coaching the Warriors? How much more work do you have to do? How much more of a science is it?
No, I think it's awareness more than a science. So these are, and I can put my hand up, this is probably what I got wrong at the Warriors. The most important thing as a coach is to understand the young people that you're working with. Now, because you're further away from your birth certificate when we used to hang out.
That's right.
Is that young people are changing. And that's a good thing. People see it as, back in my day. I don't see it. It'd be as boring as, if everyone stayed the same all the time. So understanding how to communicate, how to engage, how to make sure that these young people are learning from you with the amount of distractions that exist, in the modern world is the key thing to coaching. Because if you can be the smartest coach in the world, right, know all the best strategy, but if you can't communicate with your players and make them understand and make them feel engaged and feel like they belong somewhere, it's you might as well be speaking whatever language you want to come up with.